Hi everyone, how's it going? Andy here, also known as that one dude, and welcome to another Dragon Ball DAIMA episode review. And today we will be reviewing episode number 7, Caller for Dragon Ball DAIMA. I'm very excited for this episode, was actually hyped for it, but we just saw, I'll show the previews of the next episode, but the next episode is definitely hyped for sure. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and review episode 7. Of course, as usual, shout outs to DBS Hype for the following pictures that we're going to use here, just so we can overview the episode. Shout outs to him. Go ahead and give him a follow on X as well. Go ahead and follow to his go ahead and get a sub to his channel on YouTube. Definitely go ahead and check him out. He does great jobs with the episode reviews as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. So the episode starts off where it left off. Basically, Bulma trying to figure out what happened to the ship. So what she investigates, figures, tries to find out what happened, and unfortunately, it's not going to work because they need some material that's only found in the demon realm. So it seems like they are out of luck. Vegeta says, "Is there any way we can use a sub from like a material on Earth?" She says, "We can, but it's going to take a very, very long time." And of course, they don't have the time for that. So it seems like our heroes, the rest of the gang will be stuck, but that is not the case. We just saw this character here, as you can see. He comes into the ship, they see immediately, and they see a ship coming basically. And then Vegeta becomes suspicious. As you can see, he definitely goes into protective mode, definitely really loves Bulma. As you can see, he immediately sees a threat, immediately jumps in front of her and is ready to defend her with his life. But yeah, the ship comes, then it lands, then we see the ship door open, and lo and behold, it is Hibis. I believe it's, I say Hibis or Hibis. I don't know. You have to excuse me. I think it's Hibis or Hibis. Sorry, Hibis. So it's called. His name is Hibis. So we haven't seen him since, I want to say, episode 3 was the last time we saw Hibis. So he finally makes an appearance again in episode 7. So yes, I'm here to get friends for the friend of Pansy. I guess the friend of Pansy's friends. There we go. So of course he's talking about them. So the ones that go are basically Piccolo, Bulma, and Vegeta. Kibito Kai stays behind on the hideout that they have over there on Earth. So they end up going, they leave. So they're traveling to the third demon realm. The king calls him, says, "Okay, did you get the friends?" "Yes." "Okay, well, we need you to go and let me know when you're in the third demon realm." So of course they're going, they're headed. So they just basically are on their way to the third demon realm. So it eventually cuts back to, Goku, Pansy, Shin, and Glorio. So we see them pop up again. Of course, this is Goku here smiling, but so he's right there. Oops, you saw a little bit of a peek on the next one, but so yeah, so they're traveling and all this stuff. But what ends up happening is while they're on their flight, they get pulled over by the police force for King Goma, the gender main. I don't really know exactly, so they get pulled over. So now they're afraid because they're like, okay, what? Goku's with us. If they see Goku, he's already wanted. We would be in a lot of trouble. We said he wasn't with us, and they somehow spotted us. So Pansy was actually the one that spotted the gender mind plane, or I don't know how you say their name, the gender main plane. You have to excuse me if I'm saying it wrong. I apologize. But Pansy's the one that spots it first off, and nobody did. So she definitely has an amazing eyesight. I mean, that could be a little bit of a peek of what her magic could be. Because, I mean, nobody saw it. Glorio, nor Goku, nor Shin saw the plane. But Pansy saw that thing. It must have been like 10 miles away. And she spotted the plane. So then they think they won't get caught. Unfortunately, they do. So they're worried. Goku's with us. What do we do? So they actually say, we'll land. We'll figure it out. So they land. They exit out the vehicle. Then the gender mind soldiers say, okay, we're going to search the plane. Search thoroughly. So they end up throwing a bunch of stuff out of the way. They get rid of all that. And Goku's nowhere to be found. Well, Pansy's like nervous, trying to figure out, okay, what happened? We get a little bit of shots inside the plane. He's not there. All of a sudden, we see Goku behind. Pansy gets scared. Pansy yells, but of course, Glorio stands in front. Luckily, he was there. And, the soldiers still didn't suspect anything. And then she was like, how did he do it? Well, he actually has instant transmission. That's the reason why he's able to hide. So he was able to get away from them. They searched. They didn't find him. Then eventually Goku found an opening, eventually ran. See, he's smiling there. That's when he goes behind Pansy, and Pansy got scared. Then, as we can see, we'll go here. Yeah, there you go. So, of course, eventually he runs and he hides in a bush. So he's hiding in that bush. He's over there hiding, waiting for them to go away. So eventually they figure something out. And but I mean by figure that out, basically what I mean, sorry. I ended up getting tongue twisted there and ended up getting stuck on that. But what they figure out was that, wait a minute, Pansy is a suspect on the person that, attacked them back in episode 4, I want to say, or episode 3 also. I don't remember exactly, but she attacked the soldiers there and she became a suspect. And they're like, we were almost sure that it's her. So they eventually, they're trying to take her. Then, of course, Shin and Gloria have no option but to fight. Because if they take her, she's going to be in trouble. They're like, oh, it's just going to be a little bit of questioning. She'll break. So they ended up jumping. So now we see Shin and Glorio in action. So we're seeing Shin in action here. So I was very excited when I saw that to see, the Supreme Kai's ultimate power, basically, at this point. I mean, we haven't really seen much of him. So seeing how well he fights, and man, Shin can fight. And of course, for this one, shout out to LPD Monaka. So we saw him fighting. We saw Glorio fighting, and they dispatch all the soldiers. Then they get away. Then there's 2 planes. They start shooting at them. Well, Glorio hits one out of the sky with his thunder. The other one, Shin does some magic thing that basically pushes them to the back, like telekinesis or something, and it crashes into the other plane. So all the planes have been knocked down. Then they start shooting. Then eventually they get to Goku. He gets pushed out of the bush. Then, of course, all the planes are taken out. Then Shin says, Goku, it's your turn. So Goku gets a ki blast ready, launches it, hits the plane, and knocks it out. And it's basically gone. We just see a little starry, so he went far and away. Where he went exactly, we don't know. So you see Shin right there with a pose, that fighting pose. Ha! Of course, that's him blasting the plane out of the way. And that's, of course, Shin right there kicking one of the soldiers, basically knocking them out. So they basically took care of all the soldiers. 2 of them were knocked out. So Pansy, after they're knocked out, basically Pansy pulls out some like ray type of gun and then basically emits like some frequency, and it basically disables their communication of the 2 soldiers that were there, so they won't be able to report them. But unfortunately, now it's not just Goku that's wanted. It's pretty much the whole gang. Pansy, Glorio, and Shin are not wanted. So their plane got ruined while they were fighting. Those planes that ended up flying over them, shooting, actually hit the plane and destroyed their plane. Luckily, however, they end up a Genderman plane was left behind, so they're able to use that, and that plane is a lot better than the one they had. So it travels a lot faster. It goes a lot more. It goes twice as fast actually than the plane they had. Now they have to get a new code, but they'll eventually will get it. But let's go ahead and take a look at pictures. We pretty much went through there. Now going back to DBS hype, there's Goku hiding as we saw, for sure, which is cool. Goku there, of course. That's where he was hiding. A closer look there, and then we'll come back to this picture there. So now we're here. So they're basically loading up to the Genderman plane, and then we see Pansy there. Here you can tell right away she doesn't have her collar. What actually ends up happening, Pansy says, well, I mean, they're tracking me because of my collar, and I don't have much of a choice. I mean, I'll go, but we'll still be caught anyway because of my collar. It tracks. So one of the soldiers back then, I think in episode 3 when she was fighting, pointed the thing, like one of their staffs. It blinked. That basically means that now she has a tracker. So Shin notices, like, okay, it's like some collar that's made out of some material in the second demon realm that cannot be taken away. It cannot be broken. Pansy said that she's tried everything and it doesn't come off with any magic. Well, Shin says, I can take it off for you. Shin does some spell. I don't remember exact name of the spell, the way it is, but he does some spell and it actually breaks the collar. Now, those collars, like I said, are made of some special material, and Pansy says, or actually, no, Shin is the one that points out that those collars were probably made by his sister, Dr. Arinsu. So it's interesting to think about, like, Dr. Arinsu is the one that created those collars. So basically, those are indestructible unless you're a Glint as well, which of course Shin is, does a spell, it breaks. So now Pansy is collar free. So they won't be able to track her anymore. So she's free. She won't be at the mercy of, King Goma anymore, or of his soldiers, basically of his soldiers as well. So luckily for, Pansy, her collar's off. Yay, happy, awesome. So she's good there. So basically here, as they're about to leave, she says, thank you. What's your name, man? He goes, Shin. He's like, Shin, isn't that your name from Earth? She's like, yeah, that's my normal name, Shin. But what's your demon world name? Well, he actually has a name differently. He isn't Shin. He is Nahare. So Nahare is Shin's real name. So that's pretty cool. So Pansy's calling him Nahare. Goku says, I guess I'll start calling you that. All right. Then he goes, all right, let's go, Nahare. And he's like, okay, cool. Goku's like, you know what? I can't get used to it. I'm gonna call you Shin still, or Supreme Kai. I'm gonna call you Supreme Kai anyway. So, so he gets still called Supreme Kai. So they end up going. While they're in the plane, they need to set a new code because Gender Mind plane. I'm probably saying this. I'm butchering the name. I am so sorry, but those planes tend to have a separate code. So like we can't go to the next world because we don't have the code for the plane. So warp won't let us through to the second world. Pansy says, I got this. So Pansy calls I think one of her hackers. Well, yeah, basically calls them. She somehow, I don't know how she's able to do it, but she basically hacks into their system, basically does everything you can imagine, and well, doesn't to block it, and she does it in seconds, which is like, okay. I mean, you would imagine they would have better security, but I mean, she got that code fast. It was 1022. So that's the code that they needed for that plane in order for them to access the second demon realm and for them to use warp. Because if they don't have that, they unfortunately won't be able to leave the third demon realm. Luckily, Pansy has connections and she got it. You know, we're probably going to see more of that character soon, because it seems like they're probably, I have a feeling this is going to be the last plane they're going to be in. I expect that. So yeah, so they get the code, and then they get a call, and they're like, "Oh, your friends." Well, basically, no. The person that Pansy got help from basically says, "You know, your friends are here now. They got into the third demon realm." And she's like, "Okay, tell them, send them our way. They can catch up to us." So the king calls, Hibis or Hibis, however you say his name, and says, "You need to follow them." Well, I wanted to go get my manicure. It's like a beauty salon. He has a beauty appointment. He's like, "No, you need to go. I'll make it up to you." He's like, "Oh, I just want one large pizza with worms," which is disgusting. And Bulma shares the same sentiment as I did. It is very disgusting. So all he asks for is a large pizza with worms. That is a interesting combination. So we see our heroes are going over there. We see Shin, Goku, Pansy, and Glorio. They get closer to the Tamagami. Of course, they're going to go for the Demon Realm Dragon Ball. So they're going to go for the first one. So they finally land there. They finally get to that point. So they go see the Tamagami. Sorry, I got my tongue twisted there. So you end up seeing the Tamagami. So as you can see, he is right there. They check, they see him, and they're like, okay, so we need to challenge them. And then Goku's like, wait, he has this big hammer. Is he going to use that? Yeah, he is. He uses it. So he's going to be using it. And he's like, okay, they go back. Well, I need to fight him. I'm about to fight him. And he's like, no, wait. I actually need to eat. And then he use the restroom. And of course, everybody, they do the sigh. So of course, Goku being silly, he has to go eat. So he eats like some weird animal-like skewers. They have a bunch of teeth, and just Goku devours them. And of course, he finishes eating. They ask him, okay, how do you get the Tamagamis? When was the last time it was challenged? It was challenged 20 years ago by some guy, and he basically failed instantly. So nobody's been able to defeat them. Of course, it makes Goku a lot more intrigued. So basically, just wrap it up a little bit. Goku finishes eating. He goes to the bathroom, does what he needs to do, comes back. He's like, all right, let's go. So they go. They challenge him. The Tamagami yells. He's like, I'm here to challenge you. Oh, really? I'm summarizing, of course. And he's like, yes, I am. I want the Dragon Ball. So he's like, he's gonna fight, and then we see him pick up the hammer, and they are about to tussle. So I'm very, very happy, very excited for the next episode. I am actually very stoked for that. So it's gonna be Goku versus the first Tamagami. This Tamagami holds the 3-star Dragon Ball in the Demon Realm. So I'm super excited to see this fight. Do I expect to see Goku go Super Saiyan? Yes. Do I see him probably going Super Saiyan 2? Maybe. Now, do I expect to see Super Saiyan 3 in this series? Yes, I do. I do expect Goku maybe to go Super Saiyan 3. I'd be surprised if he didn't. So, but yeah, pretty much it's right there. It leaves off. There's the closing shot right there. Goku ready to fight with his power pole. Sorry. So we see that his power pole is on hand, ready to fight, and it's left off there. As much as I wish it would continue, we gotta wait till Friday. So I'm very, very excited for episode 8. Oh man, I am excited. So that's a preview there. So you can see here, he's like, pretty much right before the episode ends, he says, I just needed to get it to give up, right? So he just basically has to make sure that Tamagami gives up in order for him to win and get the Demon Realm Dragon Ball. The 3-star to be more specifically. So yeah, we just saw all that. Okay, I just closed that by accident, but we just saw that as well. But yeah, so here is a preview for the next episode. That's Goku, of course, fighting there. He is fighting the Tamagami, so I am super excited. It seems like he's fighting with the power pole. I expect Super Saiyan, I do, but it's going to be pretty cool to see this. I am very, very hyped. So we know next week is going to be a very, very hype episode. Episode 8 will be epic. I am so much looking forward to it. But yeah, episode 7, we saw the closing shot, Goku versus the Tamagami. Let's see how this goes. Man, episode 7 was actually, it started off a little bit slow. Then it picked up with Shin and Gloria versus the soldiers. Then it went back to a little bit more slower. And then that closing shot. Whew, man, I am super excited for that. But yeah, that actually that is how basically episode 7 ends. So again, guys, that pretty much wraps up here the episode 7 review for Dragon Ball DAIMA. So as usual, guys, of course, Shout out to DBS Hype. Again, go give him a follow on X as well as his YouTube channel. Go ahead and sub to his channel. Give him a, check out his content. Very, very good content. But yeah, that'll go ahead and wrap it up for this episode review. So once again, guys, thanks so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe if you enjoyed what you saw. Feedback will always, always be appreciated. And I will catch you all in the next video. Later, guys.